Hello and welcome to SA Weekender. Today I'm in the glorious McLaren Vale to check out a new tasting room experience that promises to be a real treat. But first, here's what else we have for you. Ron checks out opening night at Wombat Flat, and Hazy's found 54 reasons to party. But first, here's Alana.
Murray Bridge is the largest town on the South Australian stretch of the Murray River. Only an hour from Adelaide, it's a bustling regional centre with everything a visitor could need. But today, I've come in search of the 3 Bs: a bridge, a burger and a bunyip.
I'm ready.
There's been a bunyip lurking here since 1972, surprising and terrifying around 20,000 visitors a year. She's recently been on hiatus for a $100,000 spruce up, and to be honest, she doesn't seem that pleased to be home.
Well, as you can see, Bertha is back. She's undergone a monster makeover and is back in her cave here at Murray Bridge. Certainly a must-see for kids or anyone with a good sense of humour, but she's not the only reason to visit Sturt Reserve.
It's also home to riverfront walkways, an undercover playground, a huge skate park and pump track, as well as the Riverscape restaurant that was recently purchased by SANFL Premiership player Jake Sutcliffe. His team? Well, naturally, that'd be Sturt, of course.
Jake, we're a fair way from Unley Oval, the home of the Sturt Footy Club here at Murray Bridge. What made you want to start your business here?
Just for, I think, something different. My motto is why not? I was pretty fortunate that when this business came up, my family was already here, and I have a lot of friends being here for when I used to do my schooling in my junior years. It made it quite an easy transition from Adelaide.
Jake grew up in Murray Bridge, later studying a commerce and accounting degree at UniSA.
Pretty soon after, I realised I didn't want to sit behind a desk because I'm not too good at just sitting still. When this came up, I thought this will keep me on my feet, I'll be busy all the time, and obviously with football, it's a lot of work, but I do enjoy it.
Number 12, Jake Sutcliffe.
For any player, winning a premiership is the highlight of their footy career. That dream became a reality for Jake last year when Sturt narrowly defeated Port in the grand final.
Obviously when that final siren blew and being 1 point up was pretty memorable, but kicking a goal on Jared Lena, who's also a Murray Bridge boy, played at Sturt, who's now with Port, was bittersweet.
Jake has been out injured for the first part of this season, but is hoping to make a comeback to the game he loves soon. And for the others on the sidelines, the spectators, the SANFL experience is second to none when it comes to a family-friendly day out.
I think it's a more inclusive experience compared to like AFL, as in you can come onto the ground at quarter time, half time, kick the football, and I feel like there's a lot more of a relationship between our supporters and the SANFL, as in SANFL players. I think it's a great experience for everyone.
Well, all this talk can make a girl hungry, and with happy diners enjoying their meals all around me, I asked Jake if his chef could whip me up one of the house specialties.
Wowee. Thanks, Jake. Well, they call this the Lord of the Onion Rings burger for obvious reasons. I'm told the best way to try and eat it is to squash it down and cut it in half. So here goes. There's a bit to get through. Very good.
Riverscape restaurant is located at Sturt Reserve and is open for lunch and dinner 6 days a week. You can't miss it. It's just a stone's throw from the historic Murray Bridge, which is also a must-see when you visit the area. Head to their website for all the details.
Next, we make the musical pilgrimage to Wombat Flat.
Udunda. It's a town with a rich farming history and is just a short 90-minute drive northeast of Adelaide. The town's majestic silos stand like cathedrals to agriculture and are calling out for a mural artist to interpret this region's rich farming history.
Its country celebrated in the South Australian author Colin Tierley's famous novel, The Sun on the Stubble. Colin Tierley really loved this area's unique German heritage, and there's still plenty to be found out here if you know where to look.
For many of us, these are the roads less travelled, the back roads around Udunda and Kapunda, where the old ruins speak of a time when many farmers and their families were making a go of it on small mixed farms. Here, back in the 1860s, couples like Johann Friedrich William Woity and his wife August would put down their roots and raise a family. Yes, they were a stern-looking couple who, with their beloved team of Clydesdales, turned this farm into a going concern. The horses were kept in a 150-year-old barn, which has now been given a new lease on life.
The barn at Wombat Flat has been a labour of love for owner Mike Roberts and his partner Di Bills, and it brings together all their lifelong passions: a love of heritage, a love of horses, and a love of music. It's opening night at the barn, a sellout, with many music lovers making their way to a concert at a place some had never heard of.
I've been a musician all my life, really, and eventually in my old age I got around to recording a few albums, and I do a lot of playing out, but I never really had my own space. And I also thought a lot of people who live up our way are always just driving to Adelaide to hear the best musicians, and I just wondered if we could change that actually, you know, there's a place out in the middle of nowhere where they would come.
And they certainly did the night SA Weekender dropped in. The plan is to make this a regular event, with food supplied by Forage Supply Co and wines courtesy of Ricoterra in the nearby Riverland. Getting the food and wine sorted is one thing, but getting the finest talent is another. And Mike and Di have done just that. First up on this opening night bill, Barossa singer Michaela Jenke and guitarist extraordinaire Reed Sampson. From heart-wrenching ballads to more up-tempo fare, it's an extraordinary mix of heritage and music, and all based on a massive gamble.
It was one of those cases of if you build it, will they come?
They certainly did. Music lovers and top musos like Jules Parker and Lisa Gentz, otherwise known as the Hussy Hicks, fresh from their recent gig at the Byron Bay Blues Festival.
You find that when there's a silent and listening crowd, you're able to have so much more dynamics in your performance because you're not fighting over background noise, so you can really take everyone with you to a whisper and then bring it to a roar, and the impact is much more, you know, felt.
With beautiful sound, which is a big factor here, I think that it allows the whole experience to just be a little bit greater, you know.
What are the acoustics like?
Beautiful.
An experiment driven by an American who's been writing about South Australian themes for decades. But for his wife Di Bills, Mike Roberts' love affair with this state and this barn comes as no surprise.
Knowing Michael and knowing South Australia, I actually think it's not that unusual. This is a beautiful state, absolutely beautiful state, and this part of the state is not very well known, not very well documented, and I think that's part of the reason why we decided it would be really fantastic to have some kind of venue that would give it a name, draw people together.
The barn at Wombat Flat near Udunda is staging its next gig on Sunday, June 24th, and of course many more events throughout the year. For details, head to their website.
Coming up, McLaren Vale's tastiest new addition. McMurtry Road is home to many of the great world-class wineries and cellar doors right here in McLaren Vale, and I'm pleased to report they have just added one more that offers a complete food and wine experience. Welcome to the Mottola Tasting Room and Bocca de Lupa restaurant. They opened their doors late last year, and already the word has spread about this ultra-modern establishment. Mottola's striking architectural design incorporates 10 shipping containers linked by large windows, making the most of the stunning vineyard views. It's a decade-old dream that's come to fruition for founder Frank Mottola and his wife Kirsty Marie. You've been a functioning winery for a long time now. Why open a cellar door now?
Well, yeah, as you said, I mean, my dad started this winery in '99 with Ben Glaetzer. It's done very well domestically, and most recently, yeah, it's been really well received overseas.
24 countries, is that
24
right?
countries,
Yeah, wow.
yeah. This has been sort of a 10-year plan to have a beautiful tasting room with the family here and make it very warm and welcoming.
This business is truly a family affair. Daughter Gemma is the tasting room manager here, and today she's offered to pilot me through my maiden Mottola flight.
This is our $15 Han Road tasting. Comes with some little canapes from the kitchen as well to give you a little teaser of what they're doing in the restaurant at the moment, which is really good.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's like that
It's really
strawberries and
smooth.
cream.
It's
Smooth, silky, elegant.
Do you have a favourite in the range?
I think the GAM Shiraz would be my favourite. It's the first wine that my dad ever made back in '99 from a beautiful single vineyard near Aldinga Beach. It's all hand-picked. And he named it after me and my brothers, so it's the Gemma Alex Marco.
Oh, fantastic.
So that would have to be my favourite.
Of course, you can always drop in for a casual tasting, but I'd recommend you try a flight. There are 3 levels to choose from with something to suit every palate.
Oh, yum. Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah. It's one of my favourite desserts on the menu.
Okay. Yeah. Byron Bay native Tom Jack heads up the kitchen, where everything is made from scratch using local ingredients.
How do you love South Australian produce? And you weren't that familiar with it before.
No, well, you just keep it a really, really tight-knit secret. So for me, when I first got here, I was like, okay, there'll be, you know, the odds and ends, but then after talking to a few different chefs and so on, yeah, you guys have everything.
Tom says his food philosophy starts with a single ingredient that he transforms into a dish you've probably never experienced before. Baby beets, licorice sponge, walnuts and chocolate. Not the usual combination I'd expect in an entree, but I can't wait to try it. It looks amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful, really subtle.
This kind of creativity is no doubt the reason why they won a chef's hat in their first 10 weeks of operation. Diners can choose between the a la carte menu or the 5- and 8-course degustation. But trust me, whatever you decide, you'll want to leave room for something sweet.
Dessert time.
Yeah.
What are you making?
So we are doing a beef fat brownie, which is a brand new addition to our new
Beef fat
menu.
brownie. There's
Beef
two
fat brownie.
combinations I wouldn't have put together.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just all about being a little bit different, giving people what they can't get anywhere else.
I'm salivating. I'm gonna have to try this.
Go for gold. Welcome to being a chef.
Thank you.
We use spoons from service. Now, it's vitally important with any of our dishes to make sure that you get every single element so you understand what we're trying to achieve.
Okay.
Yeah. So they all work beautifully on their own, but as a whole,
Combined.
yeah, worlds apart.
Wow.
Can you taste that beef fat when you think about it?
Probably an undertone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's delicious. Thank you.
Boca de Lupa is open for lunch Thursday to Monday and dinner Friday and Saturday. The tasting room is open daily. So make sure you put Mottola on your list of places to try next time you're in McLaren Vale. It truly is a special place worthy of its now stately position on the McMurtry Mile.
Coming up after the break, Amy and Nathaniel are going to tell us about an incredible new show that they're in.
Get your flares and your platforms ready.
Dust off your platform shoes and put on those flares because Boogie Fever is coming to Adelaide. For 2 nights, the Festival Theatre will transform into New York's glittering, infamous nightclub that ruled the disco era. Called The Studio, 54 Reasons to Party, 2 of its singing stars, Amy LaPalmer and Nathaniel Willemse, tell me why it's out of sight.
When you think the 70s, where do you go?
Jumpsuits, afros,
flares, velvet.
yeah, velvet, and you know, great celebrities, but great music. It was that kind of fusion of soul, R&B, and then these new rhythms and sounds, that percussiveness of disco that we love. Obviously, you know, John Travolta and Saturday Night Fever did wonders for the music.
Headlining the concerts will be Australia's high priestess of pop, Kate Ceberano, and legendary rocker, Doug Parkinson. Accompanied by our own incredible Adelaide Symphony Orchestra, it's a 70s musical combination that fits better than John Travolta's body shirts.
Back in the day, they didn't scrimp on recording costs. You know, they had the full orchestra in there, and the production values were immense. So It's a really rare treat these days to get to hear the songs as they were kind of first written.
Nathaniel, for you personally, mate, what's your recollection of singing the 70s? What do you love about it?
Well, I'm an 80s child, but for me, I always say I was born in the wrong era. Because for some people who know some of my music that I have released, I feel like it's that soul, rhythm and blues, funk, disco type of sound is like embedded inside of me.
Featuring hits from iconic artists like Michael Jackson, the Bee Gees, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sister Sledge and Gloria Gaynor, you won't be able to sit still. So, naturally, the first rows of seats inside the theatre are being removed to make way for a dance floor.
There's a dance floor, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be amazing.
Can we just say that we were talking before, you guys are allowed to say dance because you're from the eastern states. But we say dance
We're
here.
acclimatised.
Yeah.
And I don't want to alienate any viewers. You know, it's a dance floor in Adelaide, and it's going to be amazing.
No matter how you say it, I have 2 left feet. So, I'm hoping Amy can give me some pointers.
Going to one hip.
Ooh.
And then that way. Da, 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 da.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it normal to feel this awkward?
Point up to the sky, down to your shoes.
Okay, shoes.
Yep.
Oh, that way?
Yep.
I was going to point up. This is awkward viewing at its best.
Great.
Just focus on Amy.
You're nailing it.
The Studio 54 Reasons to Party symphonic concerts will be held on the 29th and 30th of June at the Festival Theatre. So check out their website for ticket information. And we're giving away a double pass, so hustle on over to our Facebook page for all the details. And good luck.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our adventures around South Australia. I have had a wonderful time here in McLaren Vale, and I found myself a nice, warm, cosy spot, so I won't be going too far in a hurry. Before we go, here's what we have for you next time. I'll take you for an exciting escape on the river. And SA's posing pooches. We meet our adorable wine dogs. That's next Sunday at 5:30. Look forward to your company then. Bye for now.